The absence of negative feelings doesn't necessarily make your life a happy one, because funny thing is that all the, 38,000 feelings we can feel are going the same path in the brain, like over the same cortex. So anger and passion kind of feel like the same, just slightly different. And then also regret and nostalgia, or anxiety and excitement. So avoiding to feel the negative feelings isn't actually something that's gonna make your life a better one, or that's gonna help you. So today I really wanted to talk about feeling your feelings, because growing up I wasn't a kid that would like cry easily. Like I wasn't sensitive in a like more common way, I would say, but I am actually a sensitive person, I would say, which doesn't show. It only shows like if I really know you. So a long time I was also thinking that avoiding the negative feelings is just protecting me, and it's gonna like help me to be more happy. But I would say if you try to avoid something, it always comes back stronger. And right now I'm in a very good mental space. I'm super balanced, but I'm also very happy, and a lot has changed in the past 6 months, because I've met a person I really feel that can understand me, and I don't have to like translate my soul, which is so unique, and I've never had that before like I have it now. I mean, everyone is unique, and every connection you have to a person is unique, but I don't know, I always felt different in how I would cope with things and how I would express myself and just how I am, because being honest, like I really love to be alone and I cherish it so much, and I always felt like it is easier because you don't have to explain yourself, and um it is also great to just figure out what you are and how you feel by yourself without like the constant influence of someone. And I'm grateful that I was alone for so long, because I was ready to like meet someone that I could actually exchange my thoughts and feelings. But this also made me super intense in like feeling my feelings, which I wasn't used to, and I'm still not used to it. So I'm sometimes like, okay, maybe I should like suppress certain feelings, because I also get like angry at myself if I'm angry, if that makes sense. Because feelings are like, you can't control them, like you can to a certain extent. And how much sport you do and how you treat your body and what you eat, this like affect a lot of your well-being, also the mental well-being. But sometimes they come and go, and that's actually the good thing to know. Like a feeling will never last. It's just like a wave, coming in and out of your life. But sometimes you just don't know why you feel that way. And I feel, especially in situations where you should be and are so happy. I don't know, like it's like you can't grasp it, like you don't know how to cope with that, because you just want to be grateful, but you are also kind of like not used to it. So humans are always trying to go the way that they are like used to. Like changing routines is so hard, because we want to stick to the routine at all costs, because it's just like in our prehistoric brain. Don't know if you say prehistoric, but from back in the days. So what grounds me is being in nature. That's why I am taking a walk. I try to do that like as much as I can every day, or so. But I think the biggest lesson that I took from like being my 16, 18, 19 years old self to now is that I should feel all my feelings, even though I don't know why I'm feeling them, and I don't know how long they will last. And it's okay to have mood swings, because it's another thing, like society always tells women to not have mood swings, like you gotta be consistent and all, but also living more with your cycle and emotions, it actually helps you, analyze your own patterns and why you might feel like that. Because like depending on my cycle, I kind of know if the feeling is real or not. So that's actually nice, because then you can just like, feel it, but don't get attached to it, if that makes sense. And by cutting off the bad feelings or the feelings that you don't want to feel, you're also cutting off the good feelings. Meaning, if you don't want to feel anxiety at all, you also won't feel excitement. So life is always about balance, and it just feels so much better if you feel all the emotions. And in a metaphoric way, it feels like you're putting up a wall when you don't feel certain feelings, and you think you're gonna protect yourself because you built this wall, but you're actually not protecting yourself. So let me tell you some examples why it's not good to avoid certain feelings. For example, if you are a perfectionist and you're in school or uni and then you get a bad grade, you might feel like you don't even want to try it again and give the illusion of trying, and you will just avoid doing your studies. Or if you broke up with someone and you don't want to feel the grief and the regret and all the things you should feel, actually, you will avoid to get in the same situation again. So it makes you shut down to the world, if that makes sense. And there's a word in medicine that describes this avoidance of feelings. So it's called emotional blunting or reduced affect display, which makes sense. So if you haven't been sad and haven't been happy for a while, you just reduce all emotions at the same time, because again, the emotions are very close to each other, and they go over the same path in your brain. And in other words, it pretty much means that you can't really engage with your environment, and it feels like there's like a barrier, so you can't really feel what other people are feeling or what nature is telling you. Like for example, if you're like with your family and you see like them having fun, like you kind of feel it, but you can't engage with the feeling when you have this emotional blunting effect. And it also has to do a lot with stress level. Like everything that is not how it was intended to be has to do with like overstimulation and stress, because 70% of the people experience chronic stress because we were not designed to live in an environment that is so overstimulating. So we were like designed to like live in nature, live like a slower life. And I don't know if you've seen that on Instagram a lot, but I feel like there's more awareness to that importance of nature now than it was like a couple years ago. It's kind of like a trend, like everyone is like, okay, I want to connect more with nature, want to do this and that, which is good. Like I'm not gonna complain about that, but it is because we were naturally designed for it. So it's good that we have this desire ingrained in us. And lately I was thinking a lot about like what I want for my life and how I want it to look like. And I'm a horse trainer, and I think that was the thing that always kept me grounded and could like actually figure out my emotional state and just like manage myself. So I know I want to live on a horse farm, have horses and all of that. And I do have that. Like, I live between Florida and Germany, and being in Florida, it's great because you only have land and horses pretty much. It can get lonely, which is like weird in the same, like on the same time, but which can be weird too, because you feel like, okay, you're in your 20s, you want to, go out, have fun, do all of that. But honestly, it never makes me so happy like just being with my horses or with like people I actually like, or that actually like me more so, and that I know I can just be however I want to be. And it's not stressful, and I feel like I just love that I kind of grow up like that. I just love that I grew up like that. And also my mom, she was always not like crazy about nature, but not very how do you say that, like we would always eat like organic, because my dad, like, he hunts too, so we always had that. And I feel like it does something with you. And I also read that you eat the energy, so I think it's also important to make sure what you're eating and all of that. And I always had that like in myself because I grew up like that, but also now with like the awareness, I know that I want it for my life and for my kids to be like that. And also I think for music making, being close to nature, being grounded is so important and so good, because when we are overstimulated, we compare each other and take inspiration from people, and then it's not actually your own idea. Like, you have to be in silence to recreate something unique. What actually happens when you don't feel your feelings, one day they are gonna come back, and it's gonna be so intense that you can't handle it, and then you're gonna shut down as well. And I feel kind of like I was experiencing that to a certain extent, because I just never had that before, so I wasn't used to it. And also before, I wouldn't go too deep into my emotions. And songwriting actually helped me a whole lot. But yeah, it's like good to be aware of that and to make sure that you don't avoid your feelings, because then there will be the day where you can't handle them anymore because it's too intense, and that would mean you would cut out on happiness and sadness. And again, like, if you cut out only the sadness, you can't be happy, and that's kind of the purpose, to like find out what your purpose is in life, to be fulfilled and happy. So I guess what I'm gonna take out of it, and what you can take out of it, is to feel your feelings and to not judge them, because they go and come in waves. To engage with them as much as you can so they don't get too much. And if you don't know how exactly you feel, like, go in nature, sit with yourself in silence. And also, of course, writing down your feelings can help, because it's like a visualization. So yeah, I hope you enjoyed the spring, and I see you in the next video.